All right, class, we are starting week 13. Only a few more weeks to go, and this will be our last minor project before the final. So this week we're going to pull all of Eileen Wuornos' sad story together in terms of the idea of nature versus nurture. From the films, you see she had a horrible upbringing, but we also have some evidence and science that show that perhaps someone's behavior is not necessarily caused by their environment, but also there might be some genetic information. So we're going to take a look today at the work of James Fallon, who's a neuroscientist who studies brain scans and found some evidence that shows that our genetic and physical makeup may have some sort of connection with our behavior. So there's a short TED Talk, and here's a presentation about some of his work and also an article about him. So with the information, I'd like you to kind of combine the two ideas, Eileen Wuornos' story and what Fallon is saying about brain scans and possible genetic disposition to violent behavior. Now, mind you, not all people who have James Fallon's classification necessarily become serial killers, but a lot of evidence point towards a definite sort of these people are more prone to having violent behavior. So for Project 4, we're going to do a slideshow. And what I'd like to do is kind of look at Eileen as our kind of our test subject here. So examine some of the work that Fallon has done. Create a presentation about the relationship between the roles of nature versus nurture in our behavior. I'm not asking you to pick one over the other because they are very closely tied, and it's hard to kind of, without a definitive answer, say which one is more of a bigger effect on our lives. So talk about the relationship between the two, how you think they played into Eileen's lives. So we have to consider the fact that Eileen's biological father may have been schizophrenic, and her grandparents, physically abused her, which affected her more. And let's think about the motives for the murder. Was it just simply robbery gone wrong at first, trying to get money and cars for her and her girlfriend? Was it self-defense? Was it somehow some psychological revenge on the people who have been mean to her? Or was it caused by her genetics? Or what's the link between the two? And how does that connect to those behavior traits we talked about on the discussion board last week? So remember to use all the information that we've used in class for evidence, and also you're going to be doing some research on your own. So use a slide platform to present a multimedia presentation that tells Wuornos' story, but also share your analysis of the debate of nature versus nurture. Do not make a presentation that just tells me the facts of her lives. We all know that. We've all spent the past 2 weeks learning about her and her life between the two movies. So we want you to kind of bring something a little different to the table and why you feel the way you do. Include images, which you guys always do with your presentations, but here's the new thing. Since we're doing this in a multimedia kind of thing, make sure you include a video that connects to the topic. It can be nature versus nurture. It can be something from Eileen, not the movie since we've already seen that, but even a podcast. If you want to use an audio clip or an interview, NPR does a lot of audio clips. So add something different to the presentation, but make sure it has a lot of valuable content. With all presentations or any sort of multimedia thing, I look for the same amount of information as I would in an essay. So think of in terms of content and analysis, same way you would an essay. Looking for a minimum of 10 slides of content. So that excludes your title and works cited. So if you just do the bare minimum, we're looking at 12 slides total. 5 academic sources. You can use some of the articles, but clearly with 5 sources, you're going to want to go elsewhere as well to sort of build your conversation about her and her life and the idea of nature versus nurture. So for slides, PowerPoint or Google Slides. Also, I've put a link to Prezi or Microsoft Sway. These have a little bit more motion to the different slides, so if you want to check them out and use them, that would be great. So the project is due Sunday, December 4th at midnight. If you have any questions, email me directly, and have a great week.